Mercy is the compassionate, even protective care for each person, especially those most in need. We are now actually living in this holy year dedicated to the medicine of mercy. Studying in Italy in the early 80s, one of the first Italian words you made sure you learned was sciopero, the word for strike. It was the era when the Italian labor unions would call for a 24 or 36-hour strike for no reason other than to demonstrate what it would be like without the services their members provided. For example, one day the printing unions went on strike, so there were no newspapers that day. Or in the middle of a concert, the musicians' union would have declared a sciopero. The instrumentalists would rise from their chairs, no matter where they were in the symphony, the audience booing and the conductor waving his baton, while the musicians walked off the stage and into the wings. Late one afternoon, I and two priest friends were traveling to Alberobello, a little town in southern Italy. It was out of the way enough that we had to take several different trains, some of them one-car motor trains filled with no more than 7 or 8 people, including us. That afternoon on one of those motor trains, we heard the dreaded word sciopero, strike, from our driver/conductor, while he stopped the car at a little train station in the middle of nowhere. It was to be a 36-hour strike, and we were stranded, or so we thought. The station was attached to a humble village too small for a hotel, but when the residents heard of our plight, they found a bed and a home for every one of us, no questions asked. It was an amazing show of hospitality, especially for us, since we three really were strangers from a foreign country with only a beginner's knowledge of the language. It was a generous example of a corporal work of mercy to shelter the homeless, and I have never forgotten it. The practice of this corporal work demands commitment and courage, especially given the turmoil and violence in modern society, even in our most sophisticated cities. And because it is a particularly demanding work of mercy, it is easy to shy away from it or leave it to others. However, it can sometimes be relatively simple, such as welcoming a relative or a friend into your home because they need a place to live for a while. It can also mean becoming a participant in an organized effort, such as Habitat for Humanity, or offering your services to a local shelter. I have never known a homeless shelter or the many international efforts to provide housing that could not use financial support as well. Daily prayers for the forgotten homeless ensure that they will never be invisible in your own life. We fail during this holy year if each of us does not ask ourselves the question, what am I doing to shelter even more, to love our neighbors, the homeless? Which is why this year is so important as we learn to practice the medicine of mercy.